some sort of home medical device.
Yeah.
And in this past
This is LTV.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisinsuranceagency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank creates success. EnterpriseBanking.com.
Welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarola. I'm here for the city, and yes, we're live this afternoon. Trying to get a look at the weather here. We had a concert, I think, is canceled at Carter Park tonight.
We're supposed to be on showers.
Yeah, let me just look here. Looks like 30% chance of rain. 62. Looks like 5, 6 o'clock will be 62%. Then it drops down later. But the nice part, well, it looks like Friday, rain showers in the morning, become steady in the afternoon. But I think the best part is on Saturday, when we were supposed to get hit the big storm, most of it will have been gone out to sea. So that's good news. But anyway, we have what's called Downtown Sounds, and that's where we have local artists play down in the Common on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 5 to 8. They're going to go ahead with that, see what happens, and but every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, in the Common, Downtown Sounds. Yes, yeah, they're looking for you, Scott. They're recruiting you. All right, let's see if Art is around. Art, it's time for the Art Report if you're there.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I have a news update that the rabbit population is on the decrease on Judy Drive.
Oh, no, don't tell me.
I was out detailing my truck for Friday's cruise night, and something went by me, telephone high in height, but it was a big bird. I mean, the wings were huge, and I saw it from the back, and I'm guessing it was a big hawk.
Oh, yeah.
And it went down 2 telephone poles and went to the top and sat there. Now, I'm washing
not gonna
the
be a
truck
happy
and
ending.
waxing the truck. And a lady comes walking by, and another hawk goes by, and she spotted it, so she's watching. When she leaves, she goes, I don't know, she went around the corner, and she come out with a camera and went over to the telephone pole and was taking pictures of the hawks. After she left, one of the hawks got a dive bomb at Judy Drive by about 2 feet off the ground, looking for lunch. So I got a funny feeling the rabbit population is going to pay the price for the Mother Nature. And small dogs. I was concerned about my neighbor. They have a little chihuahua.
Yikes.
But they put it out on a leash, but it can't defend itself, you know. So I don't know. Mother Nature has its ways. Other than that,
I'm glad I didn't see it. That's all I could say. I'm not good like,
yeah.
I feel bad. Yeah, as I get older, I feel bad for ants.
I do.
I feel bad for ants and bugs that get killed.
And I'd like to comment and compliment LATV and Charlie Valera. I've noticed that the show he has with World War II veterans. I just watched the second. I've seen 2 shows in the last 2 days. Riveting stuff.
Is it still on?
What those men went through. And today he was talking about the ovens and the Germans, and oh my God Almighty! And the one before that was a bomber pilot.
Yes.
And the stories are so interesting, and we should be so thankful. I mean, those guys went through hell and back twice.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate what they did. And anybody that goes to war, or anybody that's in a service to protect our well-being, they deserve more than a pat on the back. I'll tell you that right now.
You got that. You got that right.
Yes, sir. And that's about it. But like I was saying, the hawk, it had to be a hawk.
Yeah.
But boy, I'll tell you, that you could hear the noise when it flew by from the wings. And it was a brownish color, so it must have been a big hawk.
Well, they better not be eating my rabbits. That's all I could say. They'll be in big trouble.
Well, they're under my deck.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
I know. 2 days ago, I come around the corner. I almost stepped on it, and it didn't jump. It just looked at me.
Nope.
You know, they feel comfortable, and that's not good.
They are everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, Art.
Okay, thank you, and keep the good work up.
It
shows. It really shows. Downtown is award-winning landscape of how to run and build and make a city look like our city looks like. Our city is a /town, and it is just absolutely stunning.
Well, good.
You're welcome.
Glad you like it. All right, Art from the Art Report, and he's given us the, I guess, what would you call it, the environmental report here, or the Circle of Life report with a potential hawk. I guess that's the way Mother Nature works, right? That's it. And anyway, glad it wasn't me. But I have become fond of the bunnies that hang around my lot. Every morning I see him, and it just seems like there's a million of them out there. And I thought, when I saw all the clover and instead of lawn coming up, it was clover. I thought, well, I suspect that they're having a field day on that. And anyway, it's Thursday, and we're live. It's Inside Leominster. We want to thank our sponsors, everybody here, at the crew here at Inside Leominster. And we're going to take a short break. Very thankful that, as I saw the last weather forecast, that it says, yeah, we're going to get some rain, but, that washout we were expecting for the weekend and then Saturday, well, we could see some sun on Saturday. But anyway, after the break, we're going to talk about storm preparations, right? Because we're heading into the fall and the winter. And we know, we just want to, it's just like a refresher course. And we'll be right back with more Inside Leominster.
Look, as I mentioned, I was here, I was on the ground, I saw the devastation that you all endured, and I've been to other communities in just my short 18-month tenure, seeing like the impact of severe storms and floods and the like. And what you endured, unfortunately, is something that's been visited on a lot of communities around the state. But I also saw a community that was so resilient in its spirit and its way to come back. And we were proud as an administration to distribute $20 million in relief funds and securing federal disaster assistance. We're going to be able to move quickly the next time around because, as was mentioned, we have created for the first time ever a permanent disaster relief fund in this year's budget, which I signed this week. And again, this stuff is really important because cities and towns don't have the money, don't have the wherewithal to be able to do this stuff. And so I, again, really want to thank Senator John Cronin for his advocacy and leadership, and Rep. Higgins for making sure that we were delivering for communities like Leominster now and in the time ahead. We also want to make sure that we are shifting from purely reactive, responses to proactive work, so we can head off some of the damage so that these guys in the back don't have to go through the nights and the weekends that they went through months ago. And that means building in more resilience. And that gets to the heart of today's grants, right? The MVP program, municipal vulnerability preparedness, this is how we help our communities help themselves. I was really pleased that we were able to award $52 million in this grant round. It is the largest round of funding like this in our state's history. And we know here in Leominster, did you brag about the 2 projects that you're getting funding for?
Well, I'm not good at bragging. But yes. Well,
you did? I know you. I do know you. Okay, good. That's awesome. Two of these projects just for Leominster alone. But we've got, how many projects are we funding? 56 or 7, like a lot, all right, all around the state. So that's a good thing. And this is important to us because we are working to really align. And again, thanks to the great leaders in the legislature, we've got 1% of our budget going to energy and environmental affairs issues, building sustainability, building resistance. That's a really good thing.
And we're back here at Inside Leominster. Yeah, you know what? Bragging, Babe Ruth said if it's true and you can do it, it's not bragging. It's not bragging. So if you say, I could jump that stone wall over there like nothing, and you can do it, that's not bragging, you see? That's just stating a fact. It's stating a fact. There you go, right? It's just stating a fact. Hey, do you get that podcast room up and running yet?
It's not done yet.
I have some ideas on podcasts.
We can talk after.
Well, only because not everybody likes to come on.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that the podcast can, the podcast that we do from here, they get set up this beautiful room over there. And the podcast that we do, we can put them on our radio station now, right? Little segments of a podcast. So anyway, it looks like rain for today, maybe tomorrow, but it was supposed to rain all day today. It was supposed to rain all day yesterday. But things change, and that's what makes it so interesting around here. And our phone number is 978-534-1626. You just saw a segment. The governor, the MVP grants, vulnerability grants, were given out here, over 56, I think she said. And we were the host community. So all 56 other communities from around the state came here to Leominster, and the governor was here to present those. And so that was a big deal for us that we would been acknowledged. Unfortunately, it was because, well, two reasons. One is we had the floods, but our, as she said, our resiliency, our ability to come back so quick and to get things repaired and work with so many other agencies for the, the benefit of the city. So our phone number is 534-1626, and we are going to be talking about planning. And I was one of those people that was like looking for, in the past, I was like looking for the batteries when the power went out. Or I'd go and get the flashlight. I already know I haven't touched that flashlight in 10 years or something, and thinking it's going to work. And then when it doesn't work, you run around looking for batteries just to get a little bit of light. Then I went on, and the more I've been here, and the more preparation and being around emergency management, I've become like the planner, like planning ahead. Have enough batteries, and do we have enough rechargeable lights that we can use, and generators, and I might even actually gone a little bit over the line in excess. But anyway, helping us today is Arthur and Paul from Emergency Management, and Arthur, as you know, is the director there, and Paul is a longtime volunteer. How many years?
25.
25 years.
Yeah, I'm that old.
Paul go with a 25 years. Geez. We're gonna have the big, when we do the next big party there, we give out the recognition pins, he'll get the 25.
Absolutely. Won't be alive for it.
Oh, geez, don't say that. We need you. Anyway, we're talking a little bit about storms, and the strange thing is, like the September 11th storm, there was no notice.
Right.
There was no week up ahead saying, this big storm's coming in, and it could dump, 5, 10, 15 inches of rain on, Worcester County or even Massachusetts.
Right.
In fact, right up until the last minute, and I remember standing at the back door at my store downtown. It's 4:30. I'm supposed to meet somebody, and I'm just watching it pour. And I'm like, yeah, I know it was supposed to rain, but not like this. And then I'm watching the water come up,
right,
and cars start floating in the garage,
yeah,
and it starts to come into my building, the first floor. And I'm saying, what? And I actually took, at that time, I looked at my phone, and it didn't say anything. It said heavy rain kind of thing. But there was no advance notice to this storm. Now, this particular storm that we're talking about, Debbie, they were talking about this a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And, showing the potential path, which for us was, not as bad as, say, the Carolinas or Georgia or Florida, but, it was going to be a significant event.
Right, right. And, a lot of these storms, we had tornado watches, about a month ago here, at least 2 of them, right? Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned earlier, we're going into the fall, and how often in late fall we'll get that first snowstorm, and it'll be heavy snow, and it may knock out power. In fact, a common denominator with a lot of the storms in the New England area, the Massachusetts area, is that we'll lose power. Most of the time, it's 12 hours or less, most of the time. Sometimes it gets to be 24 hours and so forth. And so what are things that people can do? We wanted to offer a few tips, maybe a few techniques, some things that might be helpful, and above and beyond, sort of just being helpful, but being able to keep people in their homes and keep them comfortable, and things that they might need.
Where people want to be.
Yes, yes, exactly. And more and more people work from home, so you have the double calamity, if you will, that if you lose power in your home, now, of course, that's your home, but it might be your office as well, at least 1 or 2 days a week. It might be your office. And, you know, so at a macro level, we can take steps to prepare as a city, but then on an individual and a household level, you know, there are things that we can do. So wanted to maybe just discuss a few of those tips here today.
Yeah, remember, Paul, it was November, it was October, we have the Halloween parade. It starts down at down by Walgreens, and kids are all in, and we heard, you know, could get some rain, maybe a few snow flurries, and then these giant snowflakes start falling.
Yeah.
And by the time we hit Carter Park at the time, every kid was soaking wet because there were big, heavy, wet snowflakes. And the leaves hadn't, it was particularly warm fall, so the leaves didn't fall off the trees.
Yeah.
Well, by the time kids start walking back, you know, everybody got in, they got their Canada, everybody did kind of a craft, and we realized it's starting to pile up on the grass.
Right.
And we're like, geez. And through the night, all of a sudden, branches are coming down, trees are coming down, and I'll never remember going to the top of Sunrise Ave. I looked out, and there was not one light on in the city, the whole grid. Now, that storm was different than the ice storm.
Yes.
Because National Grid, when I called National Grid, I said, geez, you know, can you get certain parts of the city on? Can we, you know, start to like turn on the, you know, elderly in the hospital? And they said, this has affected us back at the substations in Sterling. So we got to start there before we can go anywhere. So in other words, my extension cord's broken. If I fix it, can I plug it in?
Right.
Well, no, you can't, because I got to fix the power grid itself.
Right.
And that put us out for some people. It put the whole system out, but it put some people out for days.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just, you know, aren't prepared to, you know, be out for days.
Right.
And you know, one thing that's neat is there's a lot of rechargeable lights today.
Yeah.
So you can you get a light. You don't have to. It's got batteries in it, but you recharge it, and it has LED lights, and they last a long time.
Yes, yes. We have a couple of those, and we use them down at Emergency Management. I brought one that we use, and then one right in the package. So
Fling me that one right there.
Sure.
Oh, you're hooked up to the mic. All right, because these work pretty good.
They do.
Now,
They do.
I'll turn this on in a minute. How long something like this last?
That'll last actually 18 hours.
On?
On.
So
Yeah.
just not just using it as a flashlight, but just leave it on?
Yeah, and so it has a magnetic strip on the bottom, so you can put that on your car. You can put it on anything metal, obviously. So, for example, in a vehicle bay or in a garage, click it right to the ceiling, find a metal piece, even the opening door, and now you've got light right there. You can put it outside if you're grilling.
Yeah.
You can put it on your desk. Let's say that we lost power here. Put it on your desk, open up your laptop, you can work. It comes with its own USB.
Watch this. Watch this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
How good these work.
And that's $10.
$10.
$9.99.
Yeah. I see them a lot. And you know, sometimes they have a little button it says test me.
Test me, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they know it'll work, but I didn't know they lasted that long.
Yeah.
Are they rechargeable? Or you
They're
have to
rechargeable, and it actually comes, in fact, in the back, there's a little port right behind the light, no, up top.
Look at this.
Yeah. And so you can hang
this.
it. Yep. But it comes with its own USB
right here.
charger.
Right in the back here.
Yeah, yeah. And then a little compartment right up above there where you were pointing, that opens up, it's hollow. I've taken the USB charger out of that. It's in my office, actually. But each package, you can see it here, comes with its own USB recharging cord.
That's amazing. Look at that.
Yeah. And then before we get to some of the other things, here's a very small power source. This one is the brand Jackery, and it has 4 ways to recharge it. This weighs about 4 pounds.
And that's not gas or anything.
Not
that's
gas.
Just you charge it.
You charge it, yeah. So, and actually my daughter hijacked this one. She's camping in the Grand Teton Mountains. So it has USB ports. You can, first charge it at home. If you get, it has a solar panel that will come with it. You can throw it out there if you're camping and you're hiking during the day. And you can plug in your phone. You could plug in a small medical device if you had to. Like I said, weighs about 4 pounds. You can move it anywhere. You can put it next to your bed.
How heavy are those? 4 pounds, you said?
About 4 pounds.
And
yep.
how long will if you charge it full, how long will it last?
This has lasted me at home a little bit longer than that. And of course,
Really?
it depends on what load you have on
All right,
it.
so say I put a couple of lights, lamps.
I've worked into the night with it. I've worked more than 6 hours with this having lights on.
Will it run a computer?
It will run a computer.
Will it run my toaster?
I don't know about that.
That's going to draw power.
Yeah.
That's a lot of power. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
a 1200.
That's
like
a burst of power,
Right.
for that.
But it'll run, some lights in
Yes.
your house. I don't know, your computer, whatever, fan.
Totally safe. A fan, good
Right.
point. So we've had some hot, humid weather. You put a fan by your bed, for example, or
Right.
just,
And a light, maybe.
Yeah, it'll
And
run.
if you have an LED light, it's going to last longer because it draws less power.
Exactly.
Right? Or the new light bulbs. I
Right,
guess.
right, exactly.
534-1626, and we're talking about preparing for, a storm. And we certainly have had enough of them
Yeah.
to say that it's worth making some investments here. And how much is something like that?
This is about $45 with
That's all?
everything. Yeah, with everything. All right. And this is completely silent. Like, it won't keep you up. If you're putting it...
No fumes, so there's no generator.
fumes,
You don't
no.
have to start it and worry
Yeah,
about
right.
filling up with the gas. And that gets you your basics.
It does.
That gets you around the house.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You can go to bed at night, maybe leave a fan on or...
So an example is last winter, we had a family and they had lost power. They weren't really too concerned about that. They had blankets and everything. But they did have a home medical device that they needed to power.
Right.
And then a small electric heater. And they, operated the electric heater safely. They didn't put paper or blankets on it. This would power the home medical device. And then the other power source we have here would power a home heater, an electric heater, enough to sort of take the edge off for the evening. It was in the middle of winter. That was a cold snap we had.
Scott, can you throw that generator that's on here?
Yeah, it's right.
Where is it?
Camera kit?
Okay. Yeah, we'll zoom in on that.
Yeah.
And so this is now another now this is a bigger version of that other one that you had.
Yes.
But this is a Milwaukee.
Yes.
And it's got 4 batteries in it, all rechargeable.
All rechargeable,
And,
yes.
And it's there you go. And this thing, again, can power, but this thing can power some things.
Yes.
Now, what can this thing power?
This can power, well, put it this way to start, the fire department has been testing this,
Right.
and they're going to use it at incident scenes
Right.
to power their power tools
Equipment.
when they're cutting into a
Right.
vehicle, something like that. So
Saw or something.
Yes,
or
exactly.
A bigger light that draws more.
Yes, exactly right. And maybe importantly, multiple uses and multiple pieces of equipment at the same time. This also comes with USB ports, both the standard size and that new smaller size
Yep.
that some
The C.
devices have.
Yep.
Yes, yeah, exactly. All right, completely rechargeable, and to the side of it there, I have a charger that will hold 6 batteries. So operating this power source will use 4.
Yep.
And the great thing about Milwaukee is very well thought out. All of their batteries and their battery compartments are the same size. The batteries will have different capacities,
Right.
but
Right.
they're the same size.
Yeah.
So really the interoperability is key there.
Now that one's pretty expensive. That's like $600, $700,
Yes,
correct?
Yeah, everything there with the power source. And I left, I have 1 package of batteries right in the package just so everyone could see it. And then the charging station, everything there is about $900. So that's
Yeah.
a little bit more money.
Right.
You know,
But you can run things inside your house. Could you run your refrigerator off of that?
you could, and depending on the size,
Right,
you know,
right.
I mean, but yes, you could. And especially if you were sort of a bit strategic about it, well, I'm going to run my refrigerator, make sure the food doesn't spoil.
Right.
And while I'm doing that, I'll use a few other devices, but nothing heavy hitting.
Right.
Yes, you could.
Yeah. So this is a little more heavy duty.
Yes.
And you can buy extra batteries,
Yes.
right? Now, I don't know how many Milwaukee batteries I have. I could probably run it for the next 10 years. I have so many batteries if they're fully charged. And you
Roger.
can maybe run a refrigerator or a light. Now, refrigerators, if you just, the rule of thumb on refrigerators is 4 hours.
Yeah.
If you just leave the refrigerator closed and stop going in and out of it,
Right.
you're good for 4 hours. Mostly the events that we've had around here are, right, wouldn't you say, Paul? Less than 4 hours?
Yeah, less than half a day.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's important because these things being battery powered, you got to recharge the batteries. And
Right.
if the power don't come back on, where are you going to recharge
Right.
it?
So you
So
get some-
in that case, yes, if it's going to be a long duration thing, you would need a generator to be safe. You'd want to have a
right.
generator.
Or more
available.
batteries.
Or lots more
Right.
batteries.
Yeah.
The
Right.
thing is, they're about $100 a piece.
Yeah, right.
So this is fine for short-term situations where, for example, if people are on oxygen machines,
Yeah.
and we used to, in the old days, we used to get a lot of requests for generators just to
Yep.
power an oxygen machine,
Yep.
which was overkill.
Right.
But this would be ideal. It's good for a couple hours. If we can charge batteries as well, then we can, keep it going a couple more hours.
And remember, I mean, this isn't going to substitute everything.
Oh, God, no.
And we do have generators, but with a generator, you got to make sure they start, they've been cleaned, the gas is good,
Yes.
and you've got extra gas, and they do emit some odor, smoke sometimes if they're burning too rich. So there's a lot that goes into it. Somebody
Right.
has to, if you're elderly, you're not about to go outside and start refilling the generator. So there are some things to be said, but these are a couple of options. I think, I know from having generators, the small Hondas are still pretty heavy.
Yes, yes.
This one's a little easier, so you're more reluctant to go load the thing up and bring it down. This one, you just pop it out of your trunk, you plug some things into it, and you're in business. Did you say you could plug a heater in there?
You can. Yes, you can. And again, you can plug, it's made so that you can plug multiple devices. There are multiple ports. To your point, it comes with its own little roll cage. You can have it outdoors, but again, where the real value of this, you can have it indoors. You can have it right next to your bed if you need to.
And you don't have to worry about
Fumes,
You don't have to worry
noxious
about
fumes,
or noise.
Yeah.
Or
And-
being lifted. I mean,
It's very light.
Yeah.
It's very light. And for the capability that it gives the homeowner or the resident, it's amazing. Amazing capability.
534-1626, and we're talking about storms and, well, mostly about being prepared, about how important it is to be prepared in the event that something happens. It's expensive to get like a whole house generator.
Yes.
Those aren't inexpensive at all. It's very expensive. On the other hand, some of these investments are a little less and they'll get you through. So I would say in a storm, if you had a small portable heater and you were able to plug it into this and
Yes.
maybe a light, you could, it would, you're not going to heat the whole house.
Right,
But
right.
you have a small one, you get one room, turn the heat on, and a light. What else do you need? Grab a book and
Right.
turn your radio on or your phone and, watch something. I mean, that's really all you need.
Exactly right. And if you start combining some of these tools, like the light and so forth, you can, and let's say you're working from home, you can plug in your laptop, you can work from home,
Yeah.
you can have some heat, you can, not to get too basic, but you mentioned, which is very true about a refrigerator will stay cool for about 4 hours, maybe a little bit longer, as long as, like you
Stop
said, you
opening
keep
the doors.
Right.
open, yeah.
So
Let me get in there and feel if it's stuff's still cold. It's still cold. Leave the door shut.
Right.
Grab an apple, get out of there.
Exactly right. Recommendation or just a trick: pack a cooler. If we know we're getting hit by a hurricane or we're
Get
going
some
into
ice.
a cold snap, and that would be your immediate food for the next 12 hours. So you don't have to keep opening and shutting the refrigerator. Also, not to tell people what to eat, but we brought a few food items, not because they're food items, but a lot of homes have electric can openers. Well, when they're shopping, I bought this right at Hannaford's. It's got the pop top.
Pull
You
top.
literally just pull it open.
I bet a guy invented that.
Yeah. And for anybody wondering about their pets, they make these for dog food and cat food. They make it for string beans, peas, all that. We have a container of cream of tomato soup here, just a twist off.
Yeah.
So you can have these things around the house where you don't actually have to give up anything for the first 24 hours.
Right.
Maybe you all.
And most people want to stay home. They don't want to go
Yes.
to the shelter. And
Right.
I'd rather just stay home. I
Right,
know, but
right.
it's cold.
Right.
And I have a little heater, and it would take the chill out of a small, a room, an average
Right.
sized room, if you
Right.
put it in there. And, something like that would be great.
Yeah.
And it's more instant. Usually
Yes.
you're keeping something like that you keep in the house. A generator you'd probably keep in a garage or out in the shed somewhere. And
Right.
if it's the middle of a storm, you're going to go out and get it. They tend to be a little heavy.
Exactly right.
So
yeah.
there are a lot of things now. I'm amazed by these rechargeable anything today.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
amazed at some of these lights. The Amish They can use rechargeables. They use these big oil generators to, like plugs kind of thing. But they don't. They used to have gas lights in their house, and they still do.
Yeah,
and they also act as heat. But I should have brought my light in, and it's a DeWalt. And I still haven't. I've charged battery once since I've had it.
Yeah.
This thing is amazing, and it comes with a big clip thing. You can hang it on something.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And more and more of these rechargeable devices. In fact, I'm pretty much getting rid of anything that runs by gas.
Right.
Anything. Because I got a couple minutes to run the weed whacker. Every time I go to start it, it won't start.
Right.
So I'm over there yanking, and filter and this, and turn this in. It's not that, it's the gas.
Mix the oil and the gas.
And it's like, now, batteries are charged, bang, bang, turn that baby on, and it goes.
Right.
It goes.
And the modern battery is so much, they've come a long way in 10 years, right? I mean, before it just didn't have the muscle behind it.
Right.
These batteries actually have real muscle behind it.
I'll be curious, and I know that I saw the chief, and he had showed me the one that they had bought and purchased down at the station. He said, geez, I'll be curious as to, as you test this, what it can really run.
Yeah.
What's the most you can run. So I have a plug in my truck, but I haven't tried anything big with it. I did. I tried a few things, and it doesn't work.
Right.
But it'll do like a little fan or
sure
little small things it'll do, and phones and stuff like that. But it's got a little plug, and I'm like, wonder if I could make soup on here or something. Plug the thing in. It might work in one of those things that heats coffee. It's like a nozzle that you put in, or I don't know what you call it, but it's just a little round probe thing, and you pop it in and plug it into something. It'll heat water.
Okay.
That kind of thing. I'm like, well, I bet you it would do that, but it's not meant for a toaster. Some of those. It's just a small thing. But
these things too. You mentioned water heater, like a water kettle or a tea kettle or something like that. And
something
many people.
like that.
Many people, if they can have a hot cup of tea or a hot cup of coffee, hot cocoa.
Or heat some soup.
Right, exactly right.
Would that other one, that $40 one, you think that would work? You could heat a tea kettle or something? I think that would work.
You can heat a tea kettle, yes.
Right.
Yes. And this one recharges, so many times power goes off in the house, but we still have plenty of fuel in our cars. It also has an attachment, so it'll
cigarette lighter.
Repower itself through the cigarette lighter. It'll both recharge, as well as if I wanted to, for example, run my laptop, plug it into the car cigarette lighter, and I hook onto that, and I'm in business.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, we if anybody's interested, a little plug for emergency management is 25 years is a long time, but emergency management has changed. It's gotten more professional and more technical and all of those things. And we're always looking for volunteers. And sometimes people will say, well, what kind of volunteers you need? And it's one of the departments that there's so many different components to emergency management.
Yeah, for sure.
That, probably you have skills that are applicable to what it is that emergency management does.
Yes, very true, very true. And even, we're recruiting for our call center, for example, and call center, as you know, it is not 911, but in the event of a severe storm like the flooding of 9/11, they man the phones. A lot of calls. We were taking hundreds of calls, and they write down the information, and somebody says, I live at this address, for example, 37 Carter Street, and this is what I see happening, and so on and so forth. So very, very interested in people coming aboard to do that. And in an emergency like that, there really is a need for it. The phone, we had 5 incoming lines, and they were ringing off the hook.
Caller, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Hi, Crystal.
How are you?
Good today. Busy day, though.
Yeah.
Busy day.
Campus was good today.
I got my little flashlight here.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
These work good. Yeah, these work good. I'm impressed. I always wanted to buy these, but I say, $10. What can you get for $10?
Right.
And I press the thing, and I'm like, how long will it last? But now that you say, it lasts quite. I mean, I own more gadgets than you. Rechargeable little lights, square, magnetic. I own more of these gadgets than I could light up Leominster with all the gadgets I have.
I'll see you later, Dino.
All right, Crystal, thanks for calling. At 978-534-1626. Just a couple minutes left as we get into 20 minutes before the hour. We're live this afternoon. No concert they canceled the concert at Carter Park at 7, But Leominster Sounds is when we do concerts, they're just local artists and soloists in most cases, and those are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 5 to 8, and I guess they plan on at least getting it going. And I'm not sure if it's raining out yet or not, but they said around 5 or 6 we could get some rain, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, so if there's anybody interested at all, reach out to emergency management. There's operations, there's the canteen, there's, I don't know, how many different pieces of
Well, during the flood, we were looking for people to fill sandbags. As you know, you came down and saw the scouts doing it.
Sandbags.
And it was just a question of manpower. We needed bodies to fill those bags.
Right. Or deliver the generators.
Yes.
Or pumps.
Yes.
There's all of this, and there's training involved, and so it's a big ask, but it doesn't mean that you have to do 20 hours a week at emergency management volunteer. What it means is we train you so that when there isn't, you can come down and volunteer. There's always plenty to do, but if you don't have the time, and maybe you work around here and your business would let you out in case. But we help direct traffic at fires and emergencies. We help with rescue with when people are missing, and we're out helping with searches. The lighting plant gets a whole lot of use. Things happen late at night. We get the lighting plant that we bring out, the canteen. So, maybe you're retired or the kids are getting older and you've got a little more time, and just come down. They'll take you for a tour of the facility. And
absolutely,
I'm sure once you see it, you'll be like, you know what, this is there's CPR. There's somebody may have had experience. I mean, you have a lot of people with a lot of experience.
We do. Yes, we do. Just with regard to a couple of the other things that we have here, wanted to mention as we get into the fall and the rain and all the rain that we have. One of the things we mentioned.
Oh, that's right. That thing would run a sump pump.
Yes. Yes.
Forgot to mention that.
And And one of the things that we mentioned to homeowners is a means of mitigating some of the flooding when it comes in. And these really simple devices, just extenders for your gutters. And
yes, I saw those things, and those things work really well.
They do, yeah. And, those are $5. So, I mean, not cost prohibitive. And they come in different shapes and lengths and so
And they
forth.
spread out once the water hits them. They just sort of like an elephant's nose.
Yes.
They work.
Yeah, exactly right. And sometimes when we go to homes, and this happened to my own house, just to tell you. So we were flooding in our basement, and I went out and looked, and the downspouts came down and pointed directly down at our basement.
Yeah.
And
You're pumping water that goes right back in the house.
Right.
Get it away from the house.
Exactly. So I installed those. Every
And those
place
are
had
cheap.
those. Yes. Like all of that right there, those extenders, all of that was $5.50. So
that's it.
At Home Depot, and you can connect them together, and if you want
get
to
it way
far
out
from your house, or if you want to just route it down your driveway, for example, something like
What
that.
else? I can't see what you got down there. What else do you have?
We have again that one I showed you. Then if you want to spread it out, so this starts.
Does he still have his microphone on?
No.
Oh, am I not? Okay. Let me go back. But this is it right there. And that extends.
How much is that?
$5.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's the best $5 you could spend if you have a house.
And
it just hooks onto your just plastic, and it just hooks right onto your downspout.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. And that one, if you want a little gentler, if you will, it spreads the water out, as you mentioned before.
It doesn't tear up your lawn.
It doesn't tear up your lawn. So no matter how much is coming off of your roof.
That's amazing. $5.
Yeah.
Look at that. Easy to put on, too. Yeah. You can cut it if you need to kind of slide it on.
And sometimes some of the calls, as you remember, after 9/11 in 2023 last year, about 2 days later we got more rain. Then about 4 days after that we got more rain, and we actually recommended and brought these out to some homes because we found the same thing. Their gutters were pointed directly down at their basements.
Yeah.
So we got the water.
And they get down into the cracks. The water gets down into the crack. Now you got a wet basement.
Exactly
Get these.
right.
Most of the water's going to shoot out away from the house and then make its way into the ground.
Right. Exactly right. And when possible, right off of West Street, there was a home. We put these up, got the water into the driveway. The driveway was properly sloped, went into the street, and there was a stormwater basin right there. Right. So, I mean, perfect. The problem was solved.
Anything else there, Mr. Paul, before we forget? Before we close out
this
segment?
No, not much.
Anything,
Like I say,
Arthur?
these devices here are great for short term, but if we're going to go into anything long term,
Yeah. That's where the next phase
yeah,
comes
it's where you
in.
need to go get
Generator
a
or whatever.
$500 generator or something.
Last, I don't know, it was maybe 2 weeks ago. So it was like one of the earliest nights that we got in. And I said, geez, this is how like normal people leave. It's like 9:30. I said, this is how normal people live. They're in the house before 9:30. They get into bed. Like all my friends are like, yeah, I go to bed at 8 or 9. I'm like, wow, this is cool. Let's be normal for a night. And we just get in. And all of a sudden we get the alert that power went out.
Yeah.
Just not everywhere, but just downtown, around Adams Street and everything. So I said, well, maybe it's one of these will kick right back on. So we wait a little while, and but no alert came through the regular alert, but it came through the phone.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, let me check with somebody that lives in the building next door, so I don't have to go downtown to the business, because we had power at the house. And and they said, oh yeah, we got power. And then I remembered our power comes back from downtown, from the back of the fire station. So it doesn't come in on Main Street. It comes in from a different place. So I said, well, let's get dressed, let's go down and see if we got power. So we get down there, we got no power. Now we got freezers and refrigerators and all this stuff in there. So I said, well, let's just leave it. Don't touch anything, don't open anything, maybe it'll come back. So we waited and nothing came back on. So I said, well, let's drive around and see if we can find National Grid, right? See what's going on. No. Police department's out looking to see if they could find a branch down or something, because nobody knew exactly what it was. And then I went down to the yard on Fiscal Ave, figuring people would be coming in from, So now it gets to be like 11:30, 12:30, and I'm like, I got all this stuff here, there's food in here, and if it goes more than 4 or 5 hours, you really got to throw it away.
Right.
And I'm thinking, okay, I guess it's time to get the generators. So, what happened there is, one other step is somebody that works in the National Grid saw that on Facebook I was saying, anybody see National Grid, let me know. So he called, he said, the storm hit Athol, Gardner area before us. So all the crews are up there. They're getting some more crews to come in. It's going to be a while. But I waited till, I'd say 12:30.
Yeah.
And then at 12:30, I said, well, it's been, it's starting to push like 4 hours now. So I went down to get all the generators. Tara came. We got all extension cords. Started getting everything hooked up, right? And we're like, okay, we're going to have to run all these things. Get downtown, get the generators all set up. I go to pull. Now, that was like 1:30. I go to pull the generator. The first one, all the lights come on. So, but we do have generators in the event, but they're not the kind that are built into the business.
Right.
We got to get on and get them and unlock it. Bring some lights so you can see.
Right.
And then bring them down. Make sure they get gas. Make sure they start. Get all those extension cords. But at least it's an option. Well, thank you both for coming on, and we'll have you on again before we get to winter, and we'll talk about the simple things that you can do for winter. And we usually leave off some sand. We usually get buckets of sand that we can bring to people or have them pick up if they need them. And so it won't be that long, It's already middle of August next week.
One last point is that we are having sand delivered. If anybody needs sandbags, we have them, and we also have sand delivered to emergency management in the parking lot tomorrow. People can make their own sandbags. Sometimes people want them bigger or smaller. So people are welcome to come down anytime and make them. If they would like some from our vehicle bay, just knock on the front door. We'll open up, and happy to give them some sandbags for the storm.
And thank you with all your help for all the events, Starburst and Italian Fest and the Stroll and National Night Out. And my friends were teasing me last night, like, what are you shutting the street down for tonight? I said, well, taking a night off. We're taking a short break, and we'll be right back in Inside Leominster.
My name is Matt Majikis, and I'm the owner of Central Mass Productions in Leominster. From a very young age, I was told I had a great voice for radio. I guess that's true to this day. I had a great passion for sports broadcasting, so I actually moved to St. Louis, Missouri to attend a small private college out there called Webster University. And while chasing my sports broadcasting dreams, I started working for a local DJ company called TKO DJs. Very unique business, had 30 DJs working for one company. And in short order, I fell in love with DJing weddings on the weekends and running around to proms and homecomings and plugging in speakers and lights and sounds. And just kind of skyrocketed up the ranks at that company. I was the most requested DJ out of the 30 that worked there. And when I moved back home, my hometown is in Sterling, Mass. When I moved back home, borrowed $1,000 from my dad, bought the cheapest DJ equipment I could find on the internet, printed up some business cards, and bang, you're a professional DJ, right? So that's just kind of the foundation of how the business started. That was almost 16 years ago now that happened.
And we're back. It was funny, I was talking to a young kid the other day, and he was so nice and respectful, and he comes up to me after, he goes, "Can I have your autograph?" We gave out some bikes that were donated at the National Night Out, and he won one for his little sister. Huh? Pretty cool. Anyway, thank you. That was very helpful. You know, the old days, my old machine, the machine. Oh yeah, that's cool. The old days, people would always demonstrate a product, show you how it worked. Remember the Salad Master days? They take the pans and they crash them up against each other. They burn them so you could see it was easy to clean after. And they don't do that anymore. So they show a product, but you don't really know if it works. Yeah, until you buy it, and then you got to bring it back, and when it was a sales slip, and who wants to go through that? So it's helpful to see some of the products that actually work. And now I'm going to buy like that small little generator thing, because there are several things I can use it for. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, that's a really cool idea. I can use that. I like that. So anyway, all right, we're back here inside Leominster. Just a couple of minutes left, and we're live this afternoon. As I said, the concert at Carter Park is canceled, but they do have some other makeup days at the end. But I'll tell you, last night, 8 o'clock, 8:05, it was getting dark. Mm-hmm. By 8:30, it was pitch dark. And by the middle of August, 8 o'clock, it's going to be pitch dark. And those are the beginning signs of the fact that fall is coming. But our number is 534-1626. I want to thank Arthur and Paul for coming on. And let's see. The State Department of Public Health meeting for the closure of the Nashua Valley Medical Center is next Thursday night at 6 to 8 at the Devens Common Center, 31 Andrews Parkway, Devens. Come express your concerns about the status of healthcare in North Worcester County here. And that's a touchy subject there. They're not just they closed down a maternity ward. They're shutting down a whole hospital. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, this is serious business. And the Department of Public Health is going to be there for a hearing. It is their responsibility and job to look out for us, right? That's their responsibility, is to look out for the public's interest. And to completely shut the whole hospital, unthinkable. Now, let's look at the other aspect of this, which is right now, the ambulances in the whole area, I would say the whole state, but I'm talking geographically to Oz, are busy. We're calling for help, backup, mutual aid. They're calling us. Sterling calls this town. West Boylston. We're all calling each other because the calls that are coming in are pretty, have increased. So what's going to happen out in Air and Pepperell and Townsend, whoever is that capture area, that serves the hospital, what's going to happen out there? And what's the turnaround time going to be if now they have to pick somebody up in Pepperell and bring them to Leominster Health Alliance or to Lowell or to Emerson or who knows where else? It is definitely going to slow things down. Not to mention, they're closing the whole hospital, and people were very happy with their hospital in that area. So anyway, that's a public forum, and you are welcome to attend. Yeah, tonight is Jordan Holmes. Is it raining out yet? Do we know? Is it raining out, anybody? Tell me if it's raining. And then tomorrow night is Tasteless Jack, and then Scott Allen Savoy, or Savin, on Saturday. So we'll let you know about, watch my Facebook page, we'll let you know whether these are canceled. Attention kids, get your stands and secret recipes ready for a super incredibly huge lemonade and other drinks World Series. So you fill out this little form, come downtown on August the 20th, bring your lemonade stand or a table or anything, decorate it, and we're going to be giving out prizes. We're going to be giving out certificates for the best looking, the most attractive, the most enthusiastic. We've got all these things. And come downtown, and then at 6 o'clock, you start serving lemonade or Kool-Aid or whatever it is that you're serving. And we're asking the community, come on downtown on Tuesday night, the 20th. Tuesday night the 20th, 6 o'clock, for the giant, super incredibly huge lemonade and other drinks World Series. It's going to be fun. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for blueberries at Petroleum Farms 8 to 11. The rec department, maybe there's somebody out there and you are thinking, your kids or grandkids are thinking about babysitting. We have this excellent course at the rec department, 12 to 17 years old, and it's a full babysitting course. You want to take it. Everybody that's taken has been thrilled with the fact that they've taken it. So go to our website, leominster-ma.gov, click on recreation. Speaking of recreation, they had family bingo night. Oh, it's tonight. Family bingo night is tonight at 5:30 to 7. The cost is $5, so you still got time to get in. If you're a non-resident, it's $10. It's up at the Veterans Center at City Hall. Family block party has been moved to the Spanish American Center the 17th. We'll give you more information next week. But it's breakfast and lunch and kids' activities and so much more. Tommy Long Memorial Ride, that's happening at the up at the Wilder Masonic Lodge up there at 69 West Street. They're kicking it off. Registration starts at 9, and this is on Saturday. Also on Sunday at Barrett Park from 9 to 11 o'clock, mushroom and tree walk. And it's a Nick walk. Nick's going to be explaining to you about the different species of trees and mushrooms and get acquainted with a few of the many species of the trees and fungi that call our forest homes. And you can register if you'd like, 978-502-2577. This is coming up on Sunday, the 11th at Barrett Park. August 17th is the next Hazardous Waste Materials Day, leominster-ma.gov to give you the details. And remember, Lego and lunch coming up on the 21st. That's a Wednesday, 12:30 to 2:30. They do charge you $25, but it's literally Legos. 2 hours of Legos and lunch. Go to our website, leominster-ma.gov. And Richard Ace Armstrong Golf Tournament. This is all the proceeds go to the benefit the Hanger Foundation Summer Camp for Children with Prosthetics. The event is a golf event, obviously. Tournament. Saturday, September 7th. We'll give you a lot more information as it comes. The Colonial Band had a concert last night. I thought it was the last one, but there's one more coming up. So I believe it's next Tuesday. Do you know that at all? Yep. Okay. Next Tuesday over at Carter Park, inside City Hall if it rains. Tonight it was supposed to be South County line, but it's not going to be. But next week it'll be West End County, as long as we have, or country, as long as we have good weather. So don't forget, you pick blueberries at Shoreland Farms Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 8 to 11. Pop-up library on the 1st of August, the 15th, 29th, from 10 to 11:30. They got a pop-up library right at Barrett Park. All right, let's go to some pictures of the week, if you don't mind. Hey, we don't have any What's Poppin', right?
We do, but we don't have.
All right, we don't. We'll do it next week?
Yep.
All right. Flamingo for the governor. So we gave the governor a pink flamingo, some pink flamingo socks. She was like thrilled. She was like, how cool, this is a lot of fun. Congratulations to Officer Stephen Herbet, and he's our newest police officer, and he comes from the Department of Corrections. So very exciting. Martha Oliver, daughter of Congressman John Over, for the trail dedication and the bridge on Route 2 where the the new bridge going over Route 2 for the trail is now dedicated to Congressman John Over. And also, we had officials in Leominster for the rail trail. So we have to the left of me is the Secretary of Transportation. To the left of her is the Commissioner. And to the left is Congressman McGovern. Congressman McGovern. Manny Longo, the man, the myth, the legend, he's cooking up the pig over there at the Italian festival. We had such a good time. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. It was hot and humid, but people came out. And we had just a ball, and there was dancing and 2 Italian bands. Next culture event is going to be I think at the end of the month, I'll let you know, it's going to be the Haitian American. This is the second time we've done it. A lot of fun, good food, same kind of thing, right? And then we're going to have the Spanish American. So that's all coming up. So anyway, we had such a good time. Great job at the Italian Fest. We had accordion player. I can't tell you. It was supposed to end at 9. We added an hour this year. And they added an hour. They stayed an extra hour. So we had fun. And then at the National Night Out, everybody, the fire department had burgers that was so good. We had pizza at the police station, and we were giving out ice cream at the mayor's thing, and we gave out those bicycles, and there was just so much fun. And Launch was there. They gave out ice cream. There was booths set up, and everybody gave something away. It was a really nice night. So thanks for coming to National Night Out. Everything's free. You know, majority of what we do in our festivals is free. There is no fee to park. There's there's none of that. And then the fire department demonstrates an entrapment, and they tore apart that car with their jaws of life. And there's Mark Femino performing on the Common. He's not just a musician, he's a performer. And that's what we have at the Common when we have these downtown sounds on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 5 to 8. And Recreation Department Sunshine Brunch. And we really kept kids busy this year. It was amazing. And there we are, a representation. There we were at the dedication. But everywhere I go, there's always my classmates, the class of 1975, Benny Donato donated some money, substantial amount of money to the rail trail, and volunteers, and just, anyway, we'll have more to talk about that. But right now, we're out of time. I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. You need to show up. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisInsuranceAgency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank, create success, enterprisebanking.com.
This is LTV.